back exclusively on the YouTube channel, taking your questions, which keep coming in. First question is from Lucas in Madrid, Spain. Lucas asks, Brian, when you started the show, your curiosity seemed centered on how technology and geopolitics were shaping the future. Years later, what subjects or questions are capturing your attention now that you didn't expect back then? So thank you for the question, Lucas. I think there's one topic that I didn't anticipate talking about on this program, given that it was all about big picture trends and global affairs and economic shifts and trends like technology and cybersecurity and the advent of AI applications in our everyday lives. I didn't expect to be spending as much time thinking about and talking about family dynamics tied back to demographics and the decisions that young people are making and the reasons that they're making them. But it is so fundamental to societies and to economic projections for the future, even to the defense of nations. This topic of family formation, whether it is delaying it, whether it is accelerating it, how many children to have, whether to have children, how to raise them, how to think about social interactions in a world where technology is at your fingertips from a very early age. The family unit is the most basic unit of governance and always has been with humans, but it definitely feels like the more people that I talk to, the more this topic comes up. Not just in the demographic conversations where I would have expected it, but it comes up in the economic conversations, the scientific conversations, the defense conversations, the geopolitical conversations. It comes up in seemingly in every different trend that I analyze. Underpinning it is this basic social dynamic question of family formation, the difficulties and challenges of raising children all over the world, the different challenges that parents face and how it changes their choices economically, where they live, how they interact, and the changing outlook I think that people have on their lives, when they become parents. So I didn't expect to be spending much time talking about that, Lucas, but it's become a big topic on the show, and hopefully, this is the process of curiosity is, one question leads to another and leads you down a path you didn't think you would go. Thank you for that question. The next one comes from Priya in Singapore. Priya asks, you've often discussed the balance, or you've often shared the balance in your analysis between optimism and realism. Has your curiosity shifted toward cultural or social questions, like how societies adapt to change, or are you still primarily drawn to the economics and power dynamics of the global order? Okay, so I think that was sort of a two-parter. The first part on balancing optimism and realism. Do I still do that? I do. I am an optimistic person fundamentally. The conversations we have are often based in realism, and that's what the interviews are about. But I usually will take the optimistic outlook over the pessimistic one, so that hasn't changed. But has my curiosity shifted towards cultural and social questions? Well, I think like my answer to Lucas, yes. I have many more questions now about societal changes, maybe behaviors and norms, but how those fundamental changes at the individual behavioral level have impacts 6-7 magnitudes down the road in how countries think about their policies, from defense to national security to scientific endeavors. And I do spend more time thinking about those questions now. And I suppose we always should. At the end of the day, economics, power dynamics, it's all built on and based on the cultures of societies and countries and governments. And, social questions, it's really about how people are with each other. Just how they look at how the definition of normal changes over time, how the definition of standard expectations for quality of life change over time. Those sort of very rudimentary cultural questions, I think, are very important layers to understanding the bigger questions. Even, religious expression and religious participation is important to understanding why certain societies take certain actions and responses to issues than others. So, boy, really thoughtful questions this week, and from two very different parts of the world. Keep them coming. The easiest way to get your questions to me is still through email, info at brianjmatos.com. Of course, leave your comments on the YouTube channel on this video. You can reach out to me on any of my social media channels. Happy to always take your questions and answer them here exclusively on YouTube. Look forward to doing it again very soon.